The Tissot PRX has taken the watch world by storm since its release in 2021. Its neo-vintage vibe and integrated bracelet design have made it a massive hit. The PRX just oozes a quality you don't see in this price range. It truly is close to perfection. The case and the dial are beautifully proportioned. The bracelet drapes magnificently on the wrist with a wonderful taper to the butterfly clasp. And the way the bracelet shimmers as the individual links catch the light, it's absolutely majestic. But you already knew that, didn't you? Not another PRX video, you say? Yes, the PRX has been talked about to death, but unlike most hype watches, it actually deserves the hype. And yet I feel like these beautiful gold editions are sometimes overlooked. So should you go for gold, or stick to plain old stainless steel? Keep watching to find out. The gold watch is often seen as a relic of the 1970s and 80s. The type of gaudy, flashy watch you might see on the wrist of the local mobster or pimp. I'm neither a mobster or a pimp, surprisingly enough, but I do love gold watches, like the Rolex Day-Date and Datejust, the Vacheron Constantin 222, and the Piaget Polo. But what if you want that hefty gold watch vibe without the hefty price tag? The PRX, of course, is not solid gold, it is PVD gold, but if you don't mind being a poser, it does the trick. The finishing is light years ahead of gold tone watches from the likes of Seiko. I previously owned a gold tone Seiko 5 and it was really bad, it was awful. PVD is much more robust than regular gold plating, so it should hold up a lot better over time. There is one perceived downside to these watches though, and that is the quartz movement. Tissot has recently revealed another batch of PRX models, but a gold automatic remains elusive. I understand why people may prefer an automatic movement, but this watch is the product of the 1970s, and so quartz is the natural choice. It also is true to the original C-Star model, which the PRX is based on, and that's always a good thing when it comes to neo-vintage watches. In all honesty though, I don't think it would be worth paying extra for an automatic movement. The stainless steel automatics are nearly double the price of the quartz versions, and no doubt a gold version would command a similar premium. The Powermatic 80 is a solid and reliable movement, but that's all. It isn't high horology, and the only other difference in the watches is the dial. If you have decided to go for gold, the big question is what size. Size does matter. I think the 35mm is going to look amazing on a wrist 7 inches or smaller, whereas above 7 inches you may want to consider the 40mm. It's worth remembering that it will wear slightly larger due to the integrated bracelet. The first link doesn't move. I think if you're on the fence, go for the 35mm. It may look a bit small, but you'll capture the essence of the classic 70s style. You'll also see a lot more of the amazing bracelet on your wrist, and the bracelet is easily the best thing about the PRX. On the other hand, if you go big, you could risk it looking oversized and too loud and obnoxious. Just look at the way the 40mm wears on my wrist. I can just about get away with it, but the 35mm is clearly the better choice. No offence to fans of larger watches, but you see so many guys wearing watches that overhang the wrist and look too big. You wouldn't wear clothes or shoes that are way too big, so why do it with watches? Don't be afraid to wear smaller watches. Tissot have recently bumped their prices, and these two watches now check out at £405, minus any discounts you can score from the retailer, up from £375, but it still offers incredible value for money. I paid £300 last July, and it feels like more of a bargain every single day. If you want gold, there really isn't another option at the same level of quality, and with stainless steel, its nearest real competitors are watches like the Maurice Lacroix Acon or the Vacheron Constantin High Life. They are nice watches, but at 3 or 4 times the price, it just shows what a fantastic deal the PRX really is. So where does the PRX go from here? I'm sure we will eventually see both gold editions and a full lineup of 35mm watches with the Powermatic 80 movement and the pattern dial. It's a no-brainer. I think another obvious choice is to release a mid-sized version around 37 or 38mm. It would please a lot of people. There are many enthusiasts that consider 35mm to be too small and 40mm to be too large. The 37mm Vacheron Constantin 222, which is a very similar watch, looks brilliant for example, so a mid-sized Tissot PRX would surely be a resounding success. Call me crazy, but I would also like to see a rose gold or pink gold version. I think rose gold is very underrated when it comes to men's watches. It has a reputation for being more feminine, but I don't think that's fair to be honest. But if they have to market it to ladies, then fair enough. I think I'm done with the PRX though personally. I don't think I need another. Instead, I hope the success of the PRX encourages Tissot to explore more of its back catalogue. I would love to see reissues of their early 20th century chronographs and sector dial watches for example. The 36mm Tissot Navigator World Time is another beauty, but only in the period correct case sizes, no oversized modern nonsense. So many people are afraid of getting burned on vintage watches that there is a demand for reissues of old watches with modern materials and movements. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you enjoyed this video please like and subscribe, it does help. If you're on Instagram you can follow me at @_holecut. Thank you for watching and I'll see you again soon.